Welcome to The Brook, bearing clusters of truth with a splash of common sense.
Welcome to The Brook on Canaan Radio. I'm Will in the studio with David.
Hey.
Peter.
Hi.
And JT up in the booth. Pastor is not with us right now. He was attending a couples retreat in Wyoming, but he is headed back right now, probably listening as
He hasn't commented.
he's probably riding. He's driving the It took their motorcycle, so but that's
Oh, they took the motorcycle?
Yes, they did. We love to hear from our listeners during the show. You can request a song by texting us at 920-940-8275, or you can request a song in the chat on YouTube if you're watching, or you can send us a direct message on Instagram and Twitter. Our handle is @Canaan_radio. And again, that phone number, if you want to text us your song request, is 920-940-8275. And with that, it is time for... Let's get ready to ramble. David, what you got to ramble about?
I was mowing before I came in here. Threw on my Canaan Radio, quarter zip, whatever you call these things. Jumped in here.
Quarter zip.
Quarter zip. I think that's what they're called.
Yeah.
Pullovers, quarter zip pullovers.
Yep.
And it's hot outside,
It is
man.
toasty.
It's like 90, what is it?
Projected to be mid-90s, I think. You know, it's probably only like 72, and we're just really not used to it yet.
Well, that's part of it, I'm sure. 90.
It says 90.
90. Well,
90.
Never mind.
90,
It was really cold
90.
today.
It's 90. Well, on the sign it says like 94.
Don't trust that sign.
The real field temperature.
Yeah, if you're
If you want to
underneath
trust
the
that
metal
kind
plate.
Kind of a thing.
Yesterday the sign said, was it yesterday or the day before? 99.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was Friday evening that it said that.
And it hasn't rained.
For about a week.
For about a week. Which out here when it's that hot,
Yeah, it just
pretty much
comes dry.
Yep, got to get the sprinklers
Toast.
out. I got to try to keep my sod alive.
You know that, what is it, that scene? Where you just a few times.
no idea.
Never mind.
I have no idea what it's talking about.
Lost.
Wow.
Let's go to a break so I can figure out what he's talking
Yes.
about.
Yeah,
Then we'll
exactly.
come back and all laugh. Hey, mute us for a second. No.
I was going to try and mow my lawn between the work that I was doing earlier and the broadcast, but that didn't work out, so I just came here and made sure everything was ready. So,
Hey,
Mom
congratulations.
texted me and said they are listening.
oh, good.
Oh, good.
Don't drop your phone, Mom.
She's out there
Oh,
going 80 miles an hour down the road trying to text us.
Yeah,
voice text.
Yeah, voice text.
that's all you got.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
I got nothing else. We're going to go to a song. 920-940-8275 is the phone number. You can request a song. Make sure you share this broadcast with a friend. This season, we've been going over quite a few historical folks that had a great influence on who we are as Baptists, and you don't want to miss out on the folks that we're going to be going over the next, how many episodes we have left? 10?
No.
Less than that?
This is
5,
episode
I think.
18, yeah.
5?
Something like that.
5 or
6.
6.
6.
You don't want to miss the last ones. So you can find
Including this one.
previous shows on our YouTube channel and anywhere that podcasts can be listened to. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you join us on YouTube. And we're going to start with our first requested song, The Potter Knows the Clay. This song was requested by Raylan. We'll be right back. Welcome to Hot Off the Wine Press, where we deliver nothing but the freshest of fresh news. David, over to you.
Yeah, fresh news. It has been 4 years since the filming of the documentary A Song in the Storm. And if you don't know what that is, go to godmakesnomistakes.com. I think it's .com. And they will tell you all about it. But 4 years ago, Canaan Media had the opportunity to go down to Tennessee and film the life story of Heather Cape. It's an amazing story about a young girl who was diagnosed with basically incurable seizures, basically, and went through a bunch of different procedures to try to get cured, and ended up having to have a hemispherectomy. The left portion of her brain was removed to stop the seizures, and that was when she was 30-something, I believe.
Yeah.
But in between there and when she was 9, I think, when she was diagnosed. Well, I wouldn't even say diagnosed. I don't know if they ever really could diagnose it.
It took a long time. Yeah.
Started with the seizures. Basically just had uncontrollable seizures of all different sorts, and many, many surgeries. But she's always kept a great spirit, and has always loved singing, and has given the gospel to many of her doctors and nurses and people
Seen
that
a lot
have
of them saved.
taken care of her, and a lot of them have been saved as a result. So it's just basically talking about how we can, through the storms of life, sing to the Lord and get through them and lift others up at the same time. So it's a great documentary. It's full length, full feature. It's an hour and 48 minutes, I think, or something like that.
It's a good watch.
It's a good watch.
Yeah.
It will be an encouragement. So you can watch it
For free.
on YouTube. If you go
Yeah.
to, I think it's, I don't know the name of the YouTube channel. I think it's God Makes No Mistakes. I think is their name
I'm
of
not
their
sure.
YouTube. I'm not sure.
And if you go to our Twitter, twitter.com/Canaan Media, you can, we just reposted that information, so they can just click that.
you have a
check
link,
it.
you can click it. But anyway, that's 4 years ago, like yesterday or the day before.
Don't you love how I start the segment with the freshest of fresh news, and you're like, I'm
4
like, over
years
Dave, he's
ago.
like 4 years ago.
Yeah. But anyway,
That's some fresh news.
that's news.
awesome.
Pete, you want to talk a little bit about some church stuff that we got going on this month? It's gonna
Yeah,
be a busy
so-
month.
June is one of our busiest months where we've got a whole bunch of stuff crammed in. We've got a parade that we usually participate in. Last year was a little bit different because of COVID, but this year they're having it again. And the theme is reboot. And we're going to have a boot. We're going to have a lot of fun.
We're just going to throw boots at people as we drive by.
Give him the boot.
That would be good.
Yeah. Whack.
Anyway, then the Sunday right after that, that's on a Saturday. Then we're having Father's Day, and we're having a Father's Day
Right.
cookout. It's going to be awesome. Come on, come on.
It's good.
Bring your dads. And then that week, right after Father's Day, we're having day camp.
Yeah.
And we're going to have an awesome time with that, setting everything
Boot
up.
camp.
And yes, boot camp. So we're going to have all the kids run under barbed wire.
They think they're
live
coming out
fire
to have fun.
exercises.
They're not. We're going to put them through it.
You don't
Crawling
tell
through
them.
the
You don't tell them
cactus.
that now.
Oh, that's true. It's going to
Oh.
be fun, kids.
It's gonna be great.
awesome. You don't have to go home all week.
Oh boy.
Anyway, and then the following week after day camp, we are having our fireworks stand fundraiser for our church and our school. We're actually having 2 tents this year. We've been able for the past number of years to set up a tent on our church property up here on the north side of town and sell fireworks and use it to raise money for our youth ministries. I believe last year we raised it for our buses. We painted the buses last year. An epic time with that. This year, we have expanded it, though, to include a second tent, which we'll be able to set up on the south side of town in the Baumgars parking lot. Got approval through their company and their hierarchical system just this past week. And the awesome thing is that we get to have that location, and they're not charging us anything. So that's
Cool.
a big blessing from them. They just wanted to help the community and be a part of our fundraiser. So everybody come out, buy your fireworks, support the school. We're going to be having a lot of awesome fireworks this year. We're going to not be setting off anything within 300 feet of the tent. It's one of the signs we have to post. But it's going to be awesome. We're going to have a lot of our school parents involved with that fundraiser, and they're going to be there to basically just to run the place, sell it, and hopefully we'll run out of fireworks this year like we pretty much did last year. It's
So
gonna be
come
awesome.
on out, y'all.
Yeah.
Come on out now. You hear?
June's going to be busy. June into July.
June. This is June. It's busy.
Sorry.
June
we're already
is
here.
busy.
June's busy. Right into July. July's busy. Yeah.
Well, July at least you get like
Not
2
even,
days.
Not even counting the stuff that we got to do across the street. We're not even.
Oh, that's not. Yeah, that's just the tip of the iceberg, right? But oh, and then of course 4th of July falls on a Sunday this year. We'll be combining both tents here on the church property that day, and just having competition between the two sides who you want to support. It'll be the purchaser's decision. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna have a cookout. Here on the grounds that Sunday. We'll have an awesome time, have fireworks late at night like we normally do on the 4th. It's going to be an epic time. Going to enjoy it. It's a good day in church.
Yep.
I have some news that is unrelated to church ministry or anything like that. So get this. Of course, I had just said something about the younger gentleman that was the manager of that store, and I made the statement, well, that's because nobody wants to work. And there are a ton of people that are not going back to work all over the nation because of the unemployment they were able to take during COVID. And they're still getting. There are, and I think it's more than 5 now, states that are offering return-to-work bonuses to people who will go back to work.
Wow.
And those states are Arizona, Montana, New Hampshire, Oklahoma, and just recently, Colorado.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Nebraska.
And they will,
I'm going back to work.
They will give you anywhere from $1,000 to as much as $3,000
Wow.
to go back to work.
So what if they go back to work? They can't get...
Well, so here's the
Per
thing.
job?
Per job.
Oh, yeah. What if they quit
No, just,
after
well,
they get
if
their
they
benefit?
were... Yeah, exactly.
They probably have to work a
So
certain number.
if they were claiming the... I don't know what all the things are you have to do to get it, but I just thought that was an interesting... So here's the thing.
so
where's
sad.
the... And I don't advocate for this, but where's the bonus for those people who never stopped working? What about that?
Yeah,
you know,
those
what
who
about,
stayed
what
at
about
work.
that? Here
Pat on
you
the
go.
back. Give
Good
me a
job.
pin.
Thanks
Give me
for not
something.
stopping.
Now we got
I'm
to
just
pay
kidding.
people.
to go
That's
back
right.
to work.
You have
To pay people.
Exactly. But that is the liberal thinking. I'm telling you, you support people and then you pay them again to go back to work.
How about we just take away their money? That's
No,
not right.
take away
They'll start
theirs.
working.
Take away the money that's not theirs.
Exactly.
Guess what?
Anyway, that's some news for you. That's all we got. We're gonna
Get a job.
Yeah.
Keep it.
I told Kaylee that I really want to go around and start putting together folders with applications from all the different restaurants and businesses that are hiring. And then anytime I see someone who's begging or is like,
Well, these
having
days,
it's like you just hand them a
you just got to give them a paper full of those little
QR codes.
QR codes.
Yeah, that's it. Just give them QR.
That's these days.
Well, most places still have the paper. Like even I think it's
Really?
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, they still doing paper ones. Wendy's has a table
okay.
with a pen and a chair, and like
Oh
they
my
don't-
word!
they want
yes.
to make it as easy
Didn't
as possible
they have?
for someone
I think
to fill
McDonald's
out.
just like 2 weeks ago had a sign, like 3 of them on their lawn, and it said "Open Interview Day." It was like from 7 in.the morning till like 10 at night.
I saw a
And it's
couple
like
of gas
come in
stations.
to be interviewed.
Saw a couple gas stations that were doing that. It's just like
Wow.
What place was that you just said?
McDonald's.
Yeah, McDonald's.
The one here in town.
I can't remember.
There was a couple other places I seen that though.
Yeah, they did like that day interviews. So
interviews.
you'd walk in, they'd do the interview and decide if they wanted to hire you right on the spot.
Right.
There's no and even Menards was doing that I told you about that last week. They were doing that $4 bonus for people who.
Oh, and get
started
with this. They
working.
have another bonus working at Menards. So they have it for full time and part time. Because I saw the sign, I was getting, and I asked one of the employees, I was like, and I was trying to read the fine print. So I just asked her there. She was like, "Oh, that's an interesting program they have." So it's a stay at work incentive. So all you have to do is show up to your normal schedule. And at the end of, and it's like a 2-month period. The end of that period, if you're full time, you get a $500 in-store credit bonus. If you're part time, which I think is like 25 hours or something like that a week, then you get a $250 dollar. Is just in-store
So if
credit.
you just
all
do
you
the
have to
minimum, bare minimum, come and do your job,
and not call
We'll give you
out
a bonus.
without a good excuse.
we'll give you a bonus.
Or it was like, oh,
How about you keep your job if you do the minimum,
How about you
or
get
barely keep it?
it used to be like your reward for working was getting paid.
That's right.
Back
Oh,
in the
man.
old,
Gotta
back
have
in the
incentives
old days.
now you have to have benefits, but whatever.
It's like I want to see the new kids that grow up in this world sit down and interview. So
How much you gonna pay me?
just to let you know, it's going to be
Christy said they do that every summer. Well, how long have they been doing that, Christy? Because
be-
That's the first time I remember seeing
that's
that sign.
craziness.
it's your salary. Your
I don't
salary's
care
gonna
if
be
you've been doing it for 10
$15
years.
an
It's
hour.
crazy.
Just so you know, it's $15 an hour. Okay. And what bonuses do I get? You get bonus of $15 an hour if you show up.
We were just
But
where
like,
were we?
what else? That's what they would say.
So while we were in South Dakota, we went past a restaurant and they had a sign out front, and I don't remember which restaurant it was, but it was starting wage, regular starting wage, $14 an hour to work at a fast food restaurant. I was like,
Fast food.
like, wow,
Do I get
my
overtime too?
wow.
Like, okay,
$14 an hour. My first job. Okay, and
My
this
first
isn't-
job was
so
like
we talk about-
$6.50?
Yeah, I was gonna say if we talked about those who
what the world?
who started working. My first job was 9 something, and I thought that was great. I was like, 9
Please
something.
comment on
that feels like the $14 an hour job now. It's like,
Please comment in the comment fields. How much was your first minimum wage job?
exactly. Okay, let's go to a song, and then when we come back, we'll move right into the next segment. He's still on the throne. The brothers. We'll be right back. Laverne Edward Roberson, also known as Lee Roberson, was born in a 2-room log cabin and spent his first 2 years on a farm near English, Indiana, a small town in the southern part of the state. Originally named Laverne Edward, he was known throughout his life as Lee. In 1911, his parents, Charles E. and Dora Roberson, took him to a farm near Louisville, Kentucky, where his father farmed, worked on streetcars, and built homes to make a living. In 1923, at the age of 14, he was led to the Lord by his Sunday school teacher, Mrs. Daisy Hawes, and joined the Cedar Creek Baptist Church near Louisville. After spending 2 years at the Louisville Male High School, where he received a diploma in public accounting when he was 14, Roberson attended the Fern Creek High School, where he played football and graduated after 4 years. Roberson entered Old Bethel College in Russellville, Kentucky in 1926 and completed 1 year there, where he worked at various jobs from washing dishes to scrubbing floors to pay his way. From Old Bethel College, he went to the University of Louisville to complete his college work with a major in history. He also continued his education at the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary in Louisville, where he studied under Dr. A.T. Robertson. At the age of 19, he was called by a church in Jeffersontown, Kentucky, but he did not accept. In his early years, Roberson was well known as a singer, having studied at the Cincinnati Conservatory of Music with the well-known teacher John Samples of Chicago. His services as a vocalist were in great demand. He served as a soloist on the staff of radio station WHAS of Louisville and WSM in Nashville, Tennessee. Roberson was offered a contract by, and I'm going to butcher his name, but I guess he's was a famous teacher at a conservatory. His name was Gaetano Salvatore De Luca at Nashville Conservatory of Music. After a discussion with De Luca, Roberson decided to give up musical performance and declined on the grounds that such a music career was not in accordance with his divine calling to the ministry. The first church that Roberson served as pastor was in Germantown, Tennessee, while he was in college. In 1932, he was called to be the pastor of Temple Baptist Church in Greenbrier, Tennessee. It was there that he began emphasizing the second coming of Christ. After 3 years with Greenbrier Church, with the church at Greenbrier, Roberson entered full-time evangelistic work in 1935. Roberson served as evangelist of the Birmingham Baptist Association. Within 2 years, he had conducted some 50 revivals in the Birmingham area. On the first Sunday of November 1937, Lee Roberson became the pastor of the First Baptist Church in Fairfield, Alabama. In 1939, he was asked to be the state evangelist for Alabama, but he declined. After 5 years with the Fairfield Church, Roberson was called by the Highland Park Baptist Church in Chattanooga in November of 1942. 4 years later, Roberson founded Tennessee Temple University and Zion College. 2 years later, in 1948, a theological seminary, Southeastern Baptist Seminary, later renamed Temple Baptist, was added. His ministry would continue to branch out to radio via WDYN, a citywide bus ministry, and the founding of Camp Joy. At one point in the 1980s, Highland Park Baptist Church boasted 57,000 members, making it one of the largest churches in the United States. Roberson preached his last service as the pastor of Highland Park Baptist Church on April 27, 1983, but he continued preaching across the nation and published many books until his death. In Birmingham, Roberson met Caroline Allen, They married on October 9th, 1937. They had 4 children. Leanne, who was born May 2nd, 1941, and died on June 15, 2008. Joy Caroline, their second, who was born June 6, 1946, and died on August 10th, 1946. And it was due to this untimely death of the young lady that brought about the name of the camp that Roberson founded, Camp Joy. And I have some more information on that. Let's see here. It was a heartbreaking time for Dr. and Mrs. Roberson, and it led to Dr. Lee Roberson taking Romans 8:28 as his life verse. And it also became the inspiration for establishing Camp Joy. Highland Park Baptist began providing free camp for boys and girls, and as many as 3,000 would attend each summer. And through the years, many thousands were saved. The theme for the camp was Where Boys and Girls Begin to Live. Their final 2 children are John and June. Lee Roberson died on April 29th, 2007, and just 2 years after his wife's death. He was buried in Greenwood Cemetery in Chattanooga, Tennessee. The Lee Roberson Foundation at Crown College of the Bible was established to get the people to all people and to provide training and education along with platforms to work together for the furtherance of the gospel. Crown College of the Bible is also home to the Lee Roberson Christian Heritage Center, which included a working replica of the Gutenberg Press, a 1929 REO motor car used in the Billy Sunday evangelical campaigns of the 1920s and 30s, as well as pages from the first printings of historical Bibles and other Christian artifacts. If there's one thing that I think is interesting to note before we jump into this thing, I think it's interesting that just in this short little bit that I read about his life, that there were 3 or 4 different times where opportunities were offered to him. And they weren't necessarily bad things, but he declined. Mm-hmm. Just the maturity that you saw in his life, not just the maturity, the spiritual discernment that he showed in the ability to say, no, not going to do that. I mean, being offered the pastorship of a church when he was younger, saying no, asked to be a part of the Conservatory of Music, or he was actually offered like a contract. So it was a paid position to work with that teacher, and he turned that down as well. So just interesting to note.
Did we see his grave there in Chattanooga?
Yes. So we've been to his grave. We actually got to go and see the house that he lived in. We got to go see the properties there of the where the church was, Highland Park Baptist Church, and all that stuff. So yeah, it's actually crazy. If you go there now, it really feels like a ghost town because I don't think the college isn't.
The college
it's just
is
the church.
non-existent.
The church is all that's really there
and
now.
It's not even
right. So
well, years ago that church went liberal.
Yeah.
The college had been
just
going,
the church building is the only thing that's being used right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So
they had city blocks.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, you drive through their college campus, it's just downtown Chattanooga.
Right.
That's what it used to be. Of course, it's all disappearing and being renovated and bought out. But it's just an interesting thing to see that his legacy, one of the biggest things is, of course, Tennessee Temple University, and a lot of Christian leaders even today, how many of them have come through that? But that college now no longer exists in any way, shape, or form. It's not even a liberal college anymore. It's shut down. But I remember years ago hearing about the decline, and just people had seen their I mean, it looked like rock concerts and all that other stuff. That's how they advertised their college. Yeah. And it really wasn't. Basically, since he left the pastor to that church in '83, yeah,
it is amazing.
It was
just the overall size of the ministry and the impact that he had during that day. It's just amazing how God used him in an amazing way. It is sad. It is sad to go back and see where the state of it is today. And just looking at the grave, it doesn't look memorialized at all. Honestly, it just looks like you're walking past an average.
I'm pretty sure when we were there, it was just a flat
stone.
It wasn't even a big tombstone. It was just a flat,
just a marker,
marker on the ground.
Wow.
And I think there was, some people wanted to try to basically get a program going that would be able to raise some money and get a monument or something for him. And that's to our shame, I think, to independent Baptists that are living today who don't look back and honor those. And I know it's not necessarily about that. I mean, it's not about going around trying to memorialize everyone's past lives by building things. But still, the reason that most people, young people, don't know about Lee Roberson is because we don't do what we're doing now, talking about him, and gleaning from them and their lives and what they stood for, and just being willing to, turn lucrative positions away to preach the gospel and be able to reach people. I know he's very big on soul winning and having a passion for souls. Well, obviously, with that being paired with the focus on the coming of Christ,
right?
Very powerful.
Yeah. Well, him having that spiritual depth in that early of an age is something that's very lacking today. I mean, he was offered a paid position, but it was a contracted position to sing. He had an incredible voice, and he was going to be going into the radio, and they wanted him to sing for the radio and wanted him to sing all these other things. And he was when you're that young and you're scraping by on whatever he was doing, making a living off of, and being a pastor and wanting to go into ministry, something like that comes along. I mean, and it can be pretty tempting. But he turned it down and decided to serve God, and that's the awesome thing about his life and legacy is that he always veered toward what does God want in his life. And because of that, I mean, look what God used him to build. It was a church with over 58,000 members. Yeah. Obviously, they didn't all fit in that building that they have, but that's an incredible. That's no small thing to do for God. Yeah. And God used him amazingly to do that. And of course, I mean, even just thinking of Camp Joy, I know of many people who say they went there and that changed their lives. That was the place, the preaching that God used to call them into ministry, and just so many things. So only when we get to heaven will his memorial truly be recognized and seen. So
and it's truly about souls. That's what
is.
It's about. It's not about being known when you're gone.
Yeah, it's because we're so spiritual. We don't need a big memorial.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Anyway, but you know what? It does say something. Yeah. It does.
And that's the other side of things, being able to look at men of God of the past and being able to glean both from the bad and from the good. I think one of the things that you can look at his ministry, and one of the bad things is the longevity. And I don't think any man would want his ministry to die when he does. And I think the only way, I think there are a lot of different reasons for that. It's hard to kind of pick apart all of them. But
I mean, can you imagine though that he didn't die until 2007, which is what, over 20, almost 25 years. He saw and saw the decline of his past ministry. I mean, how that's horrible. I mean, really, just thinking about that. But come to recognize that it's how important it is to whom you leave your work to. Who does God want you to live?
And the pressure we have on the next generation,
right? To live right, to live biblically. It's
not about filling the shoes of your. Necessarily not filling the shoes. Maybe that's not the wrong term, but trying to live up to the expectations of the man before you. Just do right. You just worry about honoring God. Leave the results up to Him. What were you going to say, bud?
No, I was just going to say there's so much. I mean, unless you do like in-depth studies into people's lives, there's so much about these people that we go through that you just don't know.
Yeah.
So I was just doing because with all of his music experience, I thought that he had written some music. Lee Roberson, I can't remember, but in just doing a little bit of looking, I saw that he, of course, his musical ability was so great that he would get up to sing a song. He'd be like, "Let's do it in," and he would just pick a key, and he'd be like, "This is a key I think would be great for us to sing it in today. This is what my voice feels like." Even up into his 90s, he would do that. When he would get up to sing a song, he would just be like, "Let's sing this song in such and such a key." And here's the other part, and the part that sort of led to that. I guess his mom was always against him going into the ministry. His mom wanted him to get a professional career in music, but he had made the decision to follow what he believed God wanted him to do. And in just the part of the biography, or I believe it was a biography that I was reading, it said that he actually never mentioned his family when he would preach. He said there was a lady that was his secretary for years and years, and she never heard him mention like his mom and dad, maybe once or twice. And it says that he never used them in illustrations. He never talked about them,
Good or bad?
He just never mentioned them. I guess his mom, shortly after he went to school, the theological seminary, his mom and dad were divorced. And mom moved to Florida, and I guess she died at quite a younger age. But I guess she had a rough upbringing too. Anyway, he never really talked about like his younger years. And people would say that they couldn't get very close to Lee Roberson just because of the way that his upbringing and such. But it's just interesting to see those parts of someone's life. And no doubt there were big pieces of that pushed him to not just be productive, but to make the decisions that he did. Because, didn't want that kind of a life, whether it be for his kids or for others. And just had a great testimony, I think, of wanting to do something big.
I believe there is a tribute video to him that I have watched before. I'd have to look it up, but I would recommend, if you're interested in learning more about him, they have put together a pretty first-class video that kind of depicts his ministry and goes over his past and what he did in the ministry, just different things like that. It's pretty powerful. I've watched it a couple times, so I don't remember what it's called or where it's at, but it's good.
Yeah. I don't have anything else to add.
Me either.
Okay. All right, let's go to the next song. Nothing But the Blood of Jesus by Hyles Anderson. This song was requested by Sarah, and we'll be right back. Some people love it, others hate it. Either way, you can count on us talking about it. Welcome to The Pulp. David.
Yeah, I'm not
Give
ready.
us something pulpy. Pulp-ish.
What could I talk about? I didn't really have one. Heat? That's true. The sun. Some people love the sun. Some people hate it.
the
Depends
sun.
on how much you get of
the more
it.
the more you hate it.
Wow.
That is true, though. That is a good one because sometimes it's raining and it's just like cloudy,
You're like,
and
please,
windy,
where's
and
the
you're
sun?
like, where is the sun? And then here in Nebraska, it's like this one moment, and then that way the next, and
It's
it
either not
stays
there
that
or
way
it's like, I'm
forever.
here.
It's whatever the weather is. It's annoying here in Nebraska. That's pretty much how to pretty much depict it. It's just whatever it is. It's really annoying.
I think at least once a month on this program we've all had
We all talk about the weather.
the weather about a pulp of some way.
Mine's not the weather. It's the sun.
It's the sun.
Specifically the sun.
Which
Yeah, well, at least you don't.
Some-
I was going to
Sunburns.
say soda because I was looking at the soda and I was like, I really shouldn't have drank that entire thing, but I sure did love it.
Why? Okay.
That's my second one in the last hour and a half.
So
Whoa.
We got a bunch
Sugar
of
high.
soda or pop or soda pop, wherever you're from in the country, whatever you call it.
Pop.
Growing up, I always called it pop.
Coke.
But now I kind of call it soda.
I got a root beer Coke.
I got a root beer soda
Hey,
Coke.
you know what?
Pop.
I enjoy mixing pops. My favorite.
No, I
wait.
don't do that.
No.
My favorite is root beer and Dr. Pepper. But you got to do just. It's probably like I would say.
Isn't that sarsaparilla?
I would say
basically?
What
three
kind- no.
parts. 3 parts.
Sarsaparilla's just root beer.
Oh, it is?
3 parts Dr. Pepper. 2 parts root beer. You know, just kind of that kind of a ratio. It's not quite half and half.
More. root
I'm
beer
not a
than
big
that.
mixer.
Yeah, suicides are.
no.
They're
Yeah,
interesting.
no,
I like
no,
mixing
not a suicide.
flavors.
This is just 2.
I like mixing flavors. So, like, put in, like, cherry in the Coke.
Nuttiness.
Or put
Oh, wait. Have you seen the Coke that is the coffee flavor
Oh,
Coke?
it's
Have you
gross.
seen it?
That's
Have you
as
tried
much-
it?
I have
did
tried
not
it.
try
It
it.
is
did not want to.
disgusting.
I didn't want to because I was afraid that
There
I
was
would-
a.
No,
Did you try that chocolate soda?
I tried
That was
the Coke Mocha.
Was it any good?
That was like
on vacation.
decent. No,
They had a soda. They had a soda that was like a
Oh, no, no,
chocolate
no, no.
Tootsie Roll kind of a thing.
no, I didn't. I wasn't brave enough for that.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about months ago. They had it at Gary's.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the specialty thing.
Back
So
to
I
the
bought a
frozen
can of it.
stuff. You
and
bought
I
it?
thought I put it in the fridge.
There's 2
forgot
different
about
kinds. There was like a vanilla, a French vanilla.
There was a French
and then
vanilla.
there was like a. It was either mocha or
It
something
was
else. But
it was a dark
like,
mocha or something like that. I got the mocha one. put it in the fridge, forgot about it for a week because I was like, oh, and I need caffeine before church, so I chugged it. It was disgusting. Like,
Is it just Coke and coffee?
It was Coke and coffee.
Blech.
I'm like, oh. Very few things make me not want to drink
I still
it
have
ever.
my baking soda from Brother Tyson got us baking soda way
right,
back in
that's right.
2016
Have you tried it?
or 15.
It's in a.
No, he got it for it was during our broadcast, one of our old broadcast, like way back when, and I wasn't brave enough to try it, so I just put it on the mantle. It was behind during our broadcast for the longest time, and then we moved, and when we moved, I brought it
It's in
to
your-
my
it's in your
room.
house.
And
Is
it's
it
still there
at Mom and Dad's
It's Mom and
house?
Dad's house, and I was talking to Brother Tyson yesterday or the day before, whenever that was, and I said we need to on the 10th anniversary of Canaan Radio's live broadcast, I'm going to open it
And drink it.
When is that?
Yeah, how long
don't know.
till that
Well,
is?
Is that 3 more years?
Wait, for the live broadcast? So you talking
Live
about the reboot
broadcast.
of the
No.
Brook, or are you talking about from the
No,
original?
the original
Okay,
live
'cause-
broadcast was 2016, 2015.
No, it was like the first year. I guess it was like 7 years ago now.
So
Ooh, we're getting there.
yeah.
You guys
Well,
are so
I originally
old.
said 50 year, and then he was like, I might not be alive. So then I said 25 year, and he's like,
still
still
might
be
not.
alive.
I think it'll be flat by then.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Let's see.
Let's glass
He's
bottle.
not listening right now.
Speaking of
What do
bacon
you-
flavored
what do you
things,
got?
one thing that is
did you
cotton.
try that?
No, I haven't yet. I want to. Cotton
wanna
candy. I
try
should have
it.
brought it.
Bacon cotton candy?
Bacon cotton candy.
Brother Tyson asked me about that. He asked
No.
if we got any. I wasn't sure if you had gotten it.
Yeah, I'd gotten it, but it's at home. I just forgot to bring it.
I feel like the fun dud, because when we went to that candy store, Kaylee really, really wanted to try the chocolate covered bacon that they had, the homemade stuff, but I was like, nope.
They had
nope.
chocolate covered
Wouldn't
pickles.
even let her do it.
Peppers. It was those pickles were
They had
nasty looking.
chocolate-covered
Like sweating
bacon there?
through the
Oh,
chocolate.
totally
That
missed
is
it.
because something was wrong with the refrigeration there because it wasn't.
Their
it was-
chocolate stuff wasn't. I
the chocolate
tried their
wasn't-
fudge. It
Okay,
was not
I
very
had
good.
a chocolate covered Twinkie, and it was pretty
looked
good.
good.
It was okay.
I just went-
Here's the thing: it definitely was like it
It-
seemed like it had been there for a day or so, or two.
Yeah,
Looked like a
I went at the
chocolate
wrong
flavored
time because I didn't want anything.
Is that yours? Did you say yours? You didn't
No,
have one?
mine was technically hiccups.
Oh.
But nobody loves them except when a little baby has them and she's going away or having at it.
She's going away. Your baby's going away.
No, it's just, I mean, when you have them, you hate them. But it's funny to watch
The children or the
people.
hiccups?
You know, I haven't had hiccups in a long time. I
Oh, no, he's
went
doomed
through
now.
a
Here, chug it.
phase as a kid where I
Get
like
some.
had them all the time, and I was drinking the water. You know how we had that thing
You know when I would
When you
get
drink it
hiccups like
backwards?
guaranteed every time?
when you chug a soda.
No. When I would do the microwave burritos with hot sauce. It's the hot sauce because you're eating them and you got this hot sauce and it's just like every bite you got a bunch of hot sauce on there. Your mouth gets so hot that you start to get hiccups.
Yeah.
I have done that. But usually they go away after a couple minutes. But I don't naturally
World
get
record in hiccups. I read that once. I don't remember what it was. It was years, though. That poor
Okay.
guy.
So that's you guys.
Yeah,
For
that's
me,
it. For you.
For me, it is so sad that this broadcast is coming to an end so soon.
Some people love it,
Some people love that. Some people hate it. Either way, it's going to happen. And with that,
Wait, that's yours?
Either way, we're
No,
not
that's it.
going to
That
talk
what?
about it.
thank you for joining us for this episode of The Brook. We hope you'll join us again next week, same time, same place, for another fun-filled show. Hopefully, Pastor will be here next week. David?
Yeah.
Brother Peter and JT up at the booth. Thanks for another great broadcast. You can find this show in the future on our website, YouTube, and on iTunes, and anywhere a podcast can be listened to. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you joined us today. And with that, I am going to talk extra slow because my dear brother across the table from myself has forgotten to get a verse. And now, with that, we'll end the broadcast with this week's verse of encouragement that David got out of his Bible app. It's just the verse of the day. You loser.
Take therefore no thought for the morrow. For the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself.
David's motto. David's motto.
Take no
David's motto.
Take
And with-
no thought.
And with
All
that,
right.
we'll play the final song, I Stand Upon the Rock by the Marion Avenue Boys. We'll see y'all next week.
The Brook, a ministry of North Platte Baptist Church.